the delay in them being ready tactically, mentally, physically, and it leads to this, which is the norm for Arteta now. I think we know what he is now, that this is the type of manager he is. And when you're this type of manager, you've got to win or you've got to go. That if you're playing these tactics now in your 6th year, after spending 200 million on the attack, and you don't win it, it's inexcusable. If you go and win it, masterclass. But if you go and finish second again, it's inexcusable. Even finishing second, which is a long way off what we was 6 years ago. I get that. Before everyone's like, remember where we was 4 years ago. Okay, remember where we was 2 years ago, challenging for a title. What's happened since then? Nothing. We're still challenging for a title. So it just depends what metric you want to use. I don't get it. Like I said, we're talking about 3 attacking players, Odegaard, Ranieri, and Eze, and none of the 3 start when we're all talking about what 2 of the 3 start. You know, that was our expectation going into this game, and he started Marino. And yeah, it's just not good enough generally. I'm with Lee. It's the way you go down that matters. And we didn't go down with a fight.
Listen, I don't want to be here all day bashing Arteta and people I've seen online calling him a clown and that. He's not a clown. He's a good manager. He's got us to a position which is unbelievable. As you would turn around and said, like, I've gone to Anfield for many a year wanting to know not about winning a game, is how many we're not going to lose by, right? Let's be honest, right? I've come out of there at half-time, we're 4-1 down, 3-0 down, things like that. Like, yeah, it's not about that. It's about him getting over the line. Now, people are turning around and saying, oh, he's got to win the league and all that. We've got no right to win this league when Liverpool were a much better team than us last season and has just gone out and bought and improved their attacking lines tenfold by the signings that they've made, right? You know, they've improved it. We know that, right? So there's no divine right. But what you've got to do is when they're nowhere near at their best and they're vulnerable, what I see yesterday, right? I watched Bournemouth, I watched that game, and I watched Newcastle with 10 men take it to Liverpool, and we are a better team than Bournemouth, and we're a better team than Newcastle. And we did not do what them 2 teams have done to us. Now, you're telling me that Everton are going to go there in a couple of weeks' time, because that's their next home game, right? And they're going to sit back and defend and hope to get a 1-0 win or something like that. We are better than that. That's my point on that, right? I've heard people sack Arteta, do this, do that. I'm not saying that. I'm criticising him because I do think he's a good manager, but he's got to be better if we're going to win the league. Like, if you want to be top 4 and you're happy about being second all the time, right, he's your man. He is your man. But if you want to get over the line, there's those little incidents that I've just mentioned he has got to improve on. And look at it. We have a fantastic back 4. I back our back 4 against anybody. If I'm this manager, I'm not putting 3 midfield players at Liverpool, at Manchester City, anywhere in Europe to protect that. It's good enough.
Yeah. Ultimately, it comes down to, for me, the biggest frustration and the biggest indicator that this is Mikel Arteta, and it's a bigger him issue than it is anything else, is that, let's be honest, if Odegaard was fit, Odegaard starts that game, right? So with the decision that he's not fit, which side did Arteta lean on? Odegaard's defensive side or Odegaard's attacking side? The defensive side. He went with Marino. So that is Arteta in a nutshell. Yeah, really, it also tells me that Odegaard plays in that position more because of his work rate and his defensive attributes than it does what he does for the attack. And ultimately, it comes back down to that problem too, because when Odegaard plays, we also don't create enough chances. Why? Because the mentality of the manager is stifling. He has a cheek to talk about Eze coming in and saying, we have to give him the capacity and freedom to express himself. Brother, what attacker have you given the capacity and freedom to express themselves in your time here since 22-23 season, which I'll allow with Jesus, Martinelli and Saka? Since then, what attacker have you allowed the capacity and freedom, Mikel, to do what he needs to do, wants to do on that pitch? From when you lot are talking about Martinelli shitting himself in the final third, thinking I might need to pass it back because that is the phase of play we're in now. Attackers need to have that freedom that, shit, I'm in a good position here. If I just drop a shoulder on this guy, I can take a shot. That every attacker should have that mentality. fuck what the manager thinks. I'm in the final third. I'm about to do something here. That's what a great attacker thinks. Not shit. I'm here. Piddle paddle. Pass it back. Like what the fuck?
And I think that's if you're gonna set up that way,
Piddle paddle describes Martinelli, though. Do you understand what I'm saying? Piddle paddle. He does that. Piddle paddle. Piddle paddle. The fuck are you doing?
You're right. And if you're gonna set up that way with that sort of lineup, if you'd have got a 0-0, I'd actually still come on today and criticize Arteta. I would.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would have.
Even if it was 0-0,
wholeheartedly, I would have.
I would have called him out if it was 0-0. But at least you got a point. Like at least you'd have got a point out of it and a clean sheet. So be like, all right, I don't like his intent, but at least he got a point at Anfield's always a good point. But the intent would have been good. But to play that way, set up and then lose it, brother. The only positive for me, well, Mascaro's debut was good. The only positive for me from that game, guys, was Calafiore.